Alabama, Florida State. Years Georgia opened with Clemson, and then Oregon and LSU and Les Miles opened with Oregon and smacked them around. Alabama knocked around USC and Wisconsin and Va-Tech for years. The SEC fears nobody.
Stop it. I love the SEC. Put them on. By the way, if you just had an only SEC college football playoff show, it would be absolutely wonderful. How about that out there, SEC backers?
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
So the Mets, they went through a rough stretch where they were terrible, but, they win the series versus the Mariners. They're kind of turning things around just a little bit. Like, the offense has been there. You said they were in a playoff race. It's tough to say, they need to win. It's like trying to trust teams in different sports at the end of the season. But the hitters are hitting right now. Lean into the Mets, lean into the Phillies. These teams have something to play for, and they're cooking right now.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think what you saw last year is it's tough to say, it's projectable, but I do think it's something that when you're taking shots here, you're looking for a bye-week coverage wide receiver on your roster or a guy that has upside who's young enough to grow into more of a role. I think the development of Bo Nix was stunningly good last year. If we can build on that again this year, I think Marvin Mims is a really good selection as the 57th wide receiver off the board.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
What does he do after he hits the home run? He walks over to the fan and he pats him on the back and gives him a high five. This is the same fan that's been going after him for the entire game. Dave Roberts after the game saying, hey, look, every once in a while, it's kind of funny to see Shohei, who's got this wonderful personality that we almost never see. It was great to see him do that with the fans.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome in. It is In-Game Live Game Day on a wild, wonderful Wednesday evening. Scott Wetzel and Gabriel Morency for the next 2 glorious hours, right up until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, watching, analyzing, and, of course, betting on the world of sports. Nice little plate of things tonight. Got a little MLB. We got some tennis with the U.S. Open continuing. Number 2 seed knocked out on the women's side. We got a little WNBA. We got more is less for the NHL. And how about an NFL season pullover on the side of the road prop play? Yes, going back to the glory days of our morning show many moons ago. And then we got, of course, Eagles and Cowboys preview for tomorrow night. My partner in crime, Mr. Gabe Morency. What's going on, Gabe? How are you tonight?
We're doing all right, Scott. Calm before the storm. It's sort of the last night before everything sort of, takes a backseat to the National Football League. You got a game Thursday, you got a game Friday, going into Sunday, and then into Monday. So tonight's sort of the last dance for those out there that are clamoring for the National Football League, but there is a little bit of something for everybody going on right now. But I see the light at the end of the tunnel, Scott, and I'm starting to look forward to football season, college football as well. Lighter night tonight on the Diamond, but last night was pretty interesting, actually, with Colorado and San Francisco. I got a best bet once again for that game. And while we were talking about that, Framber Valdez and the Astros had a little situation, Scott, after the Grand Slam I talked about with Grisham last night. So could be trouble in paradise with Houston right now. That's very strange that what happened there. Like, you can't really prove it that Valdez tried to hit his catcher on purpose, Scott, but people seem to believe that he did. Like, I saw Dallas Braden, former big league pitcher who has a podcast, etc. He was saying, yeah, that was 100% deliberate. Like, he did that deliberately, in which, he threw the ball. He basically tried to hit the catcher, and he did because he didn't like the call after the Grand Slam. So I'm thinking there could be trouble. I think the Yankees are probably to play tonight, Scott. The Yankees are hot. The Astros have problems.
Yeah, it's a weird situation, right? So last night, in case you missed it, so Valdez gives up a grand slam, and I guess there was a little debate between the catcher and the pitcher. And listen, the catcher's not making the calls. That's coming from the dugout. Dugout goes to the catcher goes to the pitcher. Very little debate. It's not like the old school where the catcher is putting fingers down anymore, right? They got the earphones on and everything else. So the dugout calls for, I think it was a curveball, either a curveball or a slider. He wants to throw this, or sinker rather. He wants to throw the sinker. They go back and forth, and from what I read, he got to throw the pitch he actually wanted, which ended up being a grand slam. So if he's ticked off about that pitch, he only has himself to blame. So that, as you said, next batter, they go through the same routine. The catcher's calling for, it's either a curve or a sinker, I forget, doesn't matter. And he calls for the curve, and he actually throws the sinker. He says, well, I got distracted. I wasn't concentrating. My bad. But if you looked at the play game, as soon as he threw the pitch, he walks off the mound going the other direction. If you make a mistake like that, you're like, oh, my God, what did I do? I'm sorry. You walk into the catcher, you raise your hand up and you say, my bad. He didn't do that. He walked off the mound and went towards second base. So he can say all he wants about how it was an accident, but it's in the bad optics, we'll say.
If you'll notice, Scott, he actually had the exact same reaction, which was just anger, right? So the home run happens, and I never realized Valdez was that angry. So they focus in on Valdez. You're going to see, it's spinning in his head. He's about to rage. And then you see, the first pitch he threw, Scott, was kind of outside, right? He kind of just, screw you. And he whipped one in there. And then the second one, he said, oh, yeah, I'm going to get him this time. It's almost like I've seen this in high school, Scott, where it happened a couple of years ago. I think it was in Texas, that a coach told the pitcher to hit the umpire. And you figure, okay, how you going to, the umpire's going to get hit. Yeah. But no, the pitcher deliberately, threw it as hard as he could, and he made sure that it hit the umpire in the head type of deal. The ump went down. The coach got fired. And so this stuff happens every now and then. But it's just interesting, Scott, at, pretty much the same time, the Freeland stuff, baseball's interesting, even when it's not supposed to be, right? Yeah. Something will happen. And as far as Freeland's concerned, Scott, simple as we thought. Freeland said he was out of line admiring his home run like he was. He goes, I told him he was showing me up. Bro, you're 3-14.
Yeah.
You got a 7 ERA. Everybody hits you. You're going to get upset. Stop getting hit. You know what I'm saying? The Freeland was all on him. That was all on Freeland. Yeah.
I saw that the common angle doesn't really show you, but someone else had a camera and I saw Devers going up the first. It wasn't that bad. A little over the top, a little, very, very. Like you said, you're on a team that's going to set the record for the worst record maybe in the history of baseball. Your ERA is my waistline in an empty stadium, and the beginning of September when nobody cares, and all of a sudden you're going to have all this heat and anger and rage, right?
That's like, Scott, that's like an 0-13 football team or a 3-13 football team, putting their foot down after scores a late touchdown on them. Oh, we're not going to stand for that. We're going to score a run up on us. Right?
Yeah. So meanwhile, you give it up 50 points, The
thing is, though, every player will think he's right, Scott. With the baseball coach stuff, they'll be like, oh, he's crazy. Right. No, I was right about that, right? Even going back to the Tommy Pham stuff, when he said the catcher shouldn't be chirping the umpire like he was. He goes, there's a code to big league hitters. If we don't swing at a pitch, it's a ball, right? He goes, there's sort of an understanding here. And he goes, this jackass on the Blue Jays, who I don't know who he is, the backup kept talking to the ump, so I told him to shut up, right? And so there's all kinds of little policing going on during these baseball games. Frank Robinson, who I was around, Scott, who I learned a lot, I learned a ton about the game. He once told me that there is no code and there is no book. He goes, oh, that crap's all crap. Because he stole a base once up 8-2, and Dusty Baker flipped out. And he told Dusty Baker, he said, you ever seen my bullpen pitch? That's why I stole a base when I was up 6. Right?
Because no lead is safe in my bullpen.
Exactly. Frank was like, oh, screw Dusty, he's my friend. But tell him, have you ever seen my bullpen pitch before? Right? He had an answer for everything. It was great.
It's funny. All right, time for our 5 on the line, 5 best trends for the games that have yet to get underway. All right, I'm actually going to cheat on this one. I'm going to give you one that just started. Sacramento and the St. Louis Cardinals. So 5 on the line, went 3-2 last night. So let's get another positive winner. We're 6-4 so far this week. A's on an 8-6 run. Nothing crazy, but for the A's, not bad. St. Louis 6-7 their last 13. They basically given up on the season. So it's just underway. No score second, and you can still get the A's at pick 'em. So let's grab the A's pick and play a little bit better baseball than St. Louis. Next up, I'm going to give you 2 NFL plays. First one for tomorrow's game, Dallas and Philadelphia. Boy, Dallas 6-15 against the spread their last 21 games as an underdog. Now, a lot of that without Dak Prescott, who was hurt last year, but still 6-15. So trends, Philadelphia laying the 8.5 over Dallas. We use Friday's game as well. How about Jim Harbaugh for the Chargers? 5-0 straight up and against the spread in week 1. That's the best undefeated record of any NFL head coach. So give it a Chargers plus the 3.5 against Kansas City trend-wise. Play number 2 as we go from 5 down to 1. Right back on the Giants, right? San Francisco 9-1 now. Their last 10 games, they're on fire. They were helped out with the Padres losing again this afternoon, so they got a chance to pick up a full game today. So San Fran lay the 205 at Colorado. And then the last one, the coup de grace, creme de la creme, numero uno. We got the Stankies, sadly to say, playing good ball. 8-1 their last 9, 13-4 against the Astros. Give me the Stanks, trend-wise, minus 130 at Houston to get the second win. All right, back after this.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number one on this Wednesday. A little precursor to the NFL season kicking off tomorrow. We got some NFL plays, including a pullover on the side of the road play, which I just found got even a little better than what it was earlier. I'll explain. I don't know how this one is not going to cash, really. But just to go over our 5 on the line, A's pick 'em against St. Louis, just underway. Eagles tomorrow laying 8.5. As Dallas 6-15 against the spread as underdogs. We'll take the Chargers plus the 3.5 as Harbaugh's 5-0 straight up and against the spread. That's the best record in the NFL in week one. Tonight, San Fran laying the big wood against Colorado. 9-1 are the Giants, their last 10. And then the Stanks minus the 130 as they are 8-1, their last 9. And also 13-4, their last 17 against the Astros. Our 5 on the line. 3-2 last night, 6-4 for the season, and some 50 games, 53 to be exact, over 500. So, do have some. I want to get at some of this NFL stuff, Gabe. But let's touch on a little baseball since first hour here, just to kind of give due diligence to baseball. I can't believe the Padres got swept. I will start there this afternoon, getting swept by the Baltimore Orioles at home. I mean, you talk about just opening the door for San Francisco, right? I mean, we talked about it last night. They're playing great, 9-1, but they're 5 back, 23 games left. I mean, that's a lot of games to overcome. But, if the Mets keep losing and the Padres keep losing, just win. The old saying, Al Davis, just win, baby, and you're going to gain ground. And, I think the Giants are going to make things real interesting. FanDuel's not offering a will they make the playoff bet, but if they do, and you get like 5, 6, 7-1, it's not the craziest bet in the world.
I'm not surprised San Diego got swept. Baltimore can hit the baseball. Baltimore are a lot like Atlanta right now, right? They were supposed to be good. They weren't, but they can still hit the baseball. And it doesn't mean that the players want to have bad stats at the end of the year. So, and I think teams like they enjoy playing against teams that are competing for something too, Scott. Right? You're playing the spoiler role. You're playing in competitive baseball games, but baseball is just so erratic. Yet, truth be told, the LA Dodgers are losing to the Pittsburgh Pirates again. So if you're San Diego, you're very fortunate that LA hasn't really pulled away. And you could argue if you're the Dodgers, you've left this on the table because San Diego has struggled enough. But we talked about it last night, everybody, me and Scott, about San Francisco. We looked at their schedule moving forward. And, hey, you can't assume anything with baseball schedules, but they're winning baseball games. They do own the Rockies. They played them a bunch of times again. They played a Cardinals 6 times. They played a D-back 6 times. And, they play the Dodgers, but it's a rivalry, and the Dodgers could have everything wrapped up by then. They end the season with the Rockies as well. So tonight we're going to do it again, Scott. We're going to go back. Robbie Ray on the hill here tonight. Last night it was Logan Webb. Yeah. Tonight we got Robbie Ray. The Giants are 5-1 in his last 6 starts. Giants 9-1 in their last 10 overall. Giants now, guys, 9-2 the last 13 games against the last 11 games, against the Colorado Rockies. Marquez, like a lot of the pitchers on Colorado, gets lit up at home. The Rockies are 3-6 in his last 9 starts, Scott. We got to play the run line because the number is high, but it's minus 135 on the run line. We got it last night with the 7-4 win. Strange game last night. I think San Francisco probably really would have blown them out if Freeland stayed in the game, but it was one of those weird deals that a terrible pitcher got kicked out of the game early, and give credit to the bullpen. They actually pitched pretty well for the most part until late. So, nevertheless, Scott, I'm playing the Giants minus 1.5 again tonight.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. I'll go back to you. Saw the graphic there. 15-5 gave their last 20, including what you had mentioned, 11-2 their last 13. And out of those 15 wins, 12 by 2 runs or more. So, I mean, everybody beats the snot out of Colorado. So, if it ends up winning, 5-4, 4-3, whatever, then you just, you accept it. But history says that they not only beat Colorado, but they beat them pretty soundly. So that's a positive. And then another one, we come out at 8, but, Gabe and I talk about this enough where, tomorrow, if it starts at 7, enough to play it. And that's anti-Seattle. They're getting their ass kicked again. It's 8-0, second inning again today against Tampa Bay. I mean, whether it's the Padres who are 2-8 their last 10, whether it's the Mets losing, whether it's Seattle losing, it's kind of weird game. It's almost like, play 162 games. I've got to go back to my original notion that the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. The Yankees are going to be really good. All the teams you thought that are Phillies are going to be really good. And just like, because all these other teams, they tease you. They just tease you. And
but
ultimately,
don't
I
look
just go back
now.
to what I thought. Go ahead. They scored?
Don't look now. The Tampa Bay Rays are only 3.5 games out of a playoff spot right now.
Yeah,
like they're another one. Like no. But the Rays, they're right in the mix right now. And I think people have sort of forgotten about them, right? Assumed, the Rays are sort of having not a great season. They had a weird schedule. They played 47 of their first 59 games at home, and they did pretty well. And then they went on the road for a bunch of games, and it caught up to them. But now they're playing at home again. Like it's sort of balanced out, and they're starting to win baseball games again. And like I said, they're only 3.5 out. It's, that's the thing, Scott. It's easy to forget about some of these teams, and I think people do, like the San Franciscos, the Tampas, the Texas Rangers of the world who left one, the Texas Rangers who left one on the table, Scott. Again, the Rangers have been right there. So it's going to be a pretty competitive next 3 weeks. There's some teams that just aren't tapping out right now. San Francisco and Tampa being amongst them. Very similar situations.
Yeah, even Kansas City. Just the model of mediocrity, just 500 baseball. Never, probably more than 6-7 games over 500, probably never more than 6-7 under. And yet even they're within striking distance. If one of these, or two of these goofy teams could just put it together, to show a good stretch.
The averageness of the American League this year. Let's call it out for what it is. And that's why I think, and guys, you never see this. Like normally it'll be like East versus West, -120, -110. AFC, NFC, maybe one of the conferences will be like -125 or something like that. It's rare to see guys like which league will win the World Series. At the National League are listed as -150 favorites right now. I talked about this, Scott, about 2 months ago, actually, in which I said, that's the way to go with the National League. All the teams are in the NL. And it was about $1.20, $1.25 then. It's all the way up to -150 now, Scott, that the National League will win the World Series.
Wow. That's maybe because the Dodgers are back in first place and they're counting on the Dodgers. Because I think
you got the Phillies, the Dodgers. The Brewers have technically the best record, right? Even though we don't think they're the best.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Matthew Golden, one of my favorite prospects coming out of Texas. He had an incredible game against Arizona last year in the college football playoffs. Just, big touchdown after big touchdown, big moment after big moment. I loved him all year. And I was a little, skeptical at first, like, okay, well, it's kind of a crowded wide receiver room. And guess what? It's getting less crowded because everybody's hurt in Green Bay. Matthew Golden is the truth. He's the only guy healthy enough to play.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Netflix is back in a big way. They get Home Run Derby. What else is in store?
Yeah, Craig, we told you they had a great shot at it, and if they do. Now, the deal's not done yet because there's some last-minute things. However, if the deal is done, Netflix gets Home Run Derby, Peacock and NBC get Sunday Night Baseball, and they also get the Sunday afternoon package that Peacock originally had 3 years ago, and Roku's had the last 2 years.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Basically, their whole entire year is going to come down to the Ohio State game. I would be surprised if they were to lose any game leading up to that. So them to go undefeated is 12-1 in the regular season. That's a regular season play. So I think that's possible to go 12-0 at 12-1. To win the Big Ten championship, I think is a 9-1 play is a good number to take because if they're in the game, we can hedge off of it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Just getting underway. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1. Time for a little SGP same game parlay time. All right, we talked about it a little bit here, so let's go back on it again tonight. That's San Fran in Colorado. Why not? Won't get too greedy. We haven't had a winner yet, so let's not take our chances too much tonight. We're going to use San Fran minus the 205 straight line. Don't worry about laying the 1.5. We'll grab San Fran. Part of it is it's an anti-Marquez. He sucks, especially at home bet. So we think San Fran with Robbie Ray will have the lead after the first 5 innings. And it does actually boost it up. Even though you're betting San Fran to win the game, they actually give you like a decent boost when you take that team and play on them for the first 5, which we'll do here, minus the 165. We'll use Rafi Devers. Why not? 2 RBI. We'll get a little greedy here, I suppose. 2 RBIs at plus 270. Ramos bats in front of him. So if Devers is going to get 2 RBIs, then we might as well have Ramos scoring a run, right? Makes sense. So you're giving us a minus 2-1 on that one, unfortunately. And then we'll use Robbie Ray strikeouts. We'll lower his numbers 5.5. We'll get it at 5. Excuse me. So 5 strikeouts or more at minus 290. Again, not getting too greedy here. Add it all up, a decent little payoff. Over 6-1. You're turning a 2-1 favorite. They're going to be leading after the first 5. Devers RBIs, I suppose, is the one. But we're turning a 2-1 favorite into over 6-1 parlay.
Last night we hit the Devers home run prop early in the baseball game. Yep. It's a little bold to take him to hit a home run again tonight. And what the crazy thing is, Scott, last night he was plus 310 to hit a home run. It was just not a good number considering how hot he is. Tonight, plus 210.
Wow.
It's amazing the difference. Plus 210. So
I saw him at plus 250. I saw him at 250 this afternoon, and I didn't want to put it in a parlay because I figured I'll take my chances. If he hits a home run, he'll get 2 RBIs. So I went the easier route. 210 only. Ooh.
Yeah, you're almost into Ohtani numbers now.
Yeah.
Which is a little ridiculous. Although, listen, he does have 30 home runs right now, and he is smoking hot. He's got a hit in 7 of his last 8 games. I'm going to play the total bases for him once again. Over 1.5. Over 1.5 total bases. Last night it was minus 115. Tonight it's minus 155.
Ooh.
Like it was almost like they got crushed last night so hard on Devers props, right?
Yeah.
And they were mispriced, and I don't think we were the only ones to bet it. That they massively adjusted. We talk about how they don't adjust, props much in WNBA, and they've adjusted massively, man, for Devers tonight.
Yeah,
plus 310 and plus 210.
I know this sounds crazy, Gabe, but I don't think they pay attention to this stuff. I think they just, put it in a computer, spit out the averages, and this is what it should be. And then when a guy gets hot, the averages don't change that much.
You're right.
The computer still spits it out. Someone's got to bring it. Like, I can't tell you how many times I'm not patting ourselves on the back. When we bring things up stuff here, it changes on FanDuel all the time. But
there's a manual. There's a manual aspect to it. You're right. The computer is going to set the number in the program, and then somebody's going to say, yes, but everybody's betting it. Yes, but he's super hot right now, right? And you get the little tweak, right? I mean, it's almost like real life now. Like machines run everything, but you still need one human to run the machine.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like that's the best thing, Scott, and it's speculative betting now that football season's here, in which somebody goes down, bro. Right before the commercial break, there's an injury, and you got to predict how bad the injury is, and the number is still up. Right? It's another one of those sort of, predictive, like that the computer doesn't know. The computer can't, the computer needs to be told, Scott, that somebody got hurt. You know what I mean? Like the computer knows everything, the numbers, and it can figure out 8 yards. It can figure everything out, the gameplay, but it can't if you take the starting, if you take an element out, the computer doesn't know. So the human element comes in here. But you're right. I mean, numbers set everything right now. I mean, people think that there's some fat guy with a cigar setting numbers. It's a computer. It's AI. Point blank. It's AI now.
Yeah. Then you hear guys like us talk about it. Then they may go into that guy and say, all right, let's bump him up, as you said. Here's what I like. Sometimes they offer it, sometimes they don't. I like the player to get hits, runs, and RBIs combined, Rafi is 3. You can bet 2, 3, 4, whatever, but 3 is minus 135. Just bump from 130 to 135 as we're talking. I like that.
I don't play the RBI prop. I'm not saying you can't win with it, but I'm not a fan of needing RBIs.
I like that one better than total bases, though, Gabe, because at least if a guy gets on a walk or an error, you're getting credit if he gets a run scored, you know?
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Matthew Golden, one of my favorite prospects coming out of Texas. He had an incredible game against Arizona last year in the college football playoffs. Just, big touchdown after big touchdown, big moment after big moment. I loved him all year. And I was a little, skeptical at first, like, okay, well, it's kind of a crowded wide receiver room. And guess what? It's getting less crowded because everybody's hurt in Green Bay. Matthew Golden is the truth. He's the only guy healthy enough to play.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Netflix is back in a big way. They get Home Run Derby. What else is in store?
Yeah, Craig, we told you they had a great shot at it, and if they do. Now, the deal's not done yet because there's some last-minute things. However, if the deal is done, Netflix gets Home Run Derby, Peacock and NBC get Sunday Night Baseball, and they also get the Sunday afternoon package that Peacock originally had 3 years ago, and Roku's had the last 2 years.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Basically, their whole entire year is going to come down to the Ohio State game. I would be surprised if they were to lose any game leading up to that. So them to go undefeated is 12-1 in the regular season. That's a regular season play. So I think that's possible to go 12-0 at 12-1. To win the Big Ten championship, I think is a 9-1 play is a good number to take because if they're in the game, we can hedge off of it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in-game live. Game day here on the grid. Scott, Gabe, hour number 1. Let's talk a little baseball with our good buddy George Kurtz. Little NFL, no doubt, with him as well as we got quirkiness all around, Gabe and George.
Yeah.
Even in a goofy Pittsburgh Pirate LA Dodgers game, which you would think there'd be no bad blood, no what can be wrong between Pittsburgh and LA, but goofiness just the same, Gabe, right?
So last night we had the Devers Freeland situation in which Freeland was dead wrong and flipping out because he sucked. We had Valdez deliberately hit his catcher last night. And now tonight, a very strange situation in which Cam Devaney, all right, so Cam Devaney, Pittsburgh Pirate rookie, just got his first big league hit. Emmett Sheehan, LA Dodger pitcher. The Pirates asked for the ball from the dugout. He looks over, okay, yeah. Umpire throws Sheehan a new ball. Sheehan now has 2 balls. He's supposed to throw the ball that the kid just got his first big league hit, roll it towards the dugout of the Pirates. He switched balls and threw them the ball that the umpire threw him. He had 2 balls in his glove. He sort of looked and he sort of almost an evil, little smirk and threw them the wrong ball. And as I stated, Scott, pitchers know baseball's inside out, blindfolded. He knows, the ball has green marks on, you know what I mean? Like there's the fresh ball. And now the Pirates are going to know instantly that he rolled him a fresh ball instead of the baseball. And they're going to screw the kid because now this ball is in play. And I don't even know what happened to the ball after. Just why would you do that, Scott? And we'll bring George Kurtz in, but Scott, like you said, players, they're tired, they're frustrated. A lot of these guys are jerks in real life to begin with. So if you poke them or Who knows, like, why he did this? It'll be brought up after, but hey, I'm a Dodger fan, but I'll call it out for what it is. That was a Bush League move from Emmett Sheehan, but I don't know why he did it.
Yeah. And it's Emmett Sheehan, right, George? I mean, you're not talking about, Kershaw
wouldn't
maybe
do
just
this. Kershaw would gladly give the Kershaw would sign the ball for the kid,
would.
Scott. You know what I mean?
Let's welcome in George Kurtz. George, have you ever seen that? Is funny. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, you're right, Gabe. I'm trying to make the excuse of like maybe he didn't know.
No. He knew.
He's looking right at the ball. Yeah, I mean.
No, he purposely looks and goes, no, this one, and then throws them that one.
Throws the other one. What do you think, George? Would you get ticked off if you were there? Are we going to get another beanball situation tonight? Is Pittsburgh going to retaliate against the Dodgers?
Assuming they're aware of it, if we're aware of it, I know they're aware of it as well by now, right? So, and not like Pittsburgh's playing for anything. They have nothing to lose, all right? So it's, you guys, Bush League? I was thinking with a word that rhymes with Bush, starts with a D. It's what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing? All right, it's just for the kid's first big league hit. Did he show you up on? I mean, what's behind this? Like I said, did he show you up? Are you mad because the Pirates keep beating you, which is it's silly in itself? I keep losing money on this. It's Bush League. It really what it is. It's sad. And I can't think of the Dodgers themselves going to be happy with Sheehan. You mentioned, Gabe, you said it. Kershaw's going to be like, what are you doing? It's his first hit. We don't do this.
No, it's classless. Yeah. Like, let's just call it out for what it is. And you're screwing the kid over. I don't know what happened to the ball after as well. What happened, you know what I mean? You screwed the kid over for his first ball. There's no need to do it. Like you said, you're Emmett Sheehan as well. And a real big leaguer wouldn't do that. Like, it's so baffling to me. Yet, once again, for all we know, I don't know, maybe these two have a history in the minor leagues or something, Scott. You know what I'm saying?
It's possible.
And he's like, screw this guy. I know that guy can. Screw him. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, he'll be asked about it. But like you said, everyone's going to know. They're going to know. And the Pirates would have known right away when the ball got to the dugout. And they're not dumb. They all know what a baseball is. And you know what I mean? They would have been like, this son of a bitch just deliberately threw the wrong ball at us.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's just the season's just too long. These players are just goofy.
I think the right word is petty.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? Bad karma for the baseball guys too. Like you said, George, they keep losing to the Pirates. I don't know. Maybe they're just frustrated. They keep losing. Maybe like, oh, I'm mad we're losing a game, but it seems very bizarre.
Want to grab the Dodgers tonight, George? Down 3-0, top of the seventh. Plus 7.5 to 1.
I have lost enough money over the past couple of years to the Dodgers losing to the Pirates.
No. Yeah.
They got swept in Pittsburgh a couple of years ago.
Pirates. They can't beat the Pirates. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but the Pirates seem to have something over the Dodgers. So, no, I did bet the Dodgers pregame. I'm like, oh, they won't lose again. Can't happen again. Sure it can. I do have the under as well here, so maybe I'll be covered that way. But
that's the road to hell, George. Baseball, baseball sports books are littered with gold with bettors who say they can't lose again.
Can't happen again.
Scott brought it up earlier. Yeah, did you think the same thing? San Diego and Baltimore. Oh, they can't lose again, right?
Can't lose 3 in a row to Baltimore. Yeah, they can.
Baltimore's not terrible anymore, though. They've played much better over the past 4 to 6
years. The last place team, they suck. They're last place team, for goodness sakes. Yeah, if you're a playoff team winning the World Series, you can't get swept by the Orioles.
You can't assume anything in baseball. You can't assume anything in baseball, Scott.
It's crazy.
Dude, the Rockies took 2 of 4. The Dodgers, look, they took 2 of 4 from the Dodgers. Then the Dodgers swept San Diego after, right? It's all over the place.
The Mets sweep the Phillies. Then they lose 3 out of 4 to Miami at home. Then they take 2 out of 3 against Detroit on the road.
There are a lot of helter-skelter teams in baseball. You don't know what you're going to get game in and game out. They ruled them safe.
I think there's a lot of helter-skelter bettors in baseball, too, though. Bettors blame the teams when they should blame themselves as well for betting on the teams that are as erratic as they are.
Come on, Gabe. You should know we're Americans. We don't blame ourselves, man. There's always someone else to blame. It's never our fault.
It's the ref. It's the pitcher. It's the manager.
Manager, the weather. Wind's blowing in.
It's not me. I was right. I was right. It's someone else's fault. Probably Scott's fault.
But it's true, though. Like, I can't believe they did that. It's like, well, you thought they were good. You're the one to put money on them. Like, I've always said that to people. I'm not calling you guys up, but I've always found it amusing. Like, bettors just take zero responsibility ever for their plays. Oh, it was a good play if that didn't happen.
That's why if I ever have like a pick'em game, but I just want some action TV game, right? I'll always say, you know what loss can I live with more? Betting on team A or betting on team B? And sometimes that just, if I lose because I bet on Mario Cristobal, I'll be kicking myself, right? But I'll accept if I bet against him. So,
for me, it's Swiatek. Every time I bet on that girl, she loses. She lost today. Every time I take her, she loses, Scott. Every time.
Yep. Straight sets today, too. Didn't even show up. There was a tournament she was in last year. I forget that I had her. She quit middle of a match. Never again on her. Stanks 1-0 over the Astros. Your boys are playing good, George. I got to tell you, I got a bunch of Stanky fans on the podcast. They're all crying, complaining. Aaron Boone sucks. This, that, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Bottom line is, here they are. And they're going to be maybe the odds-on favorite in the American League when everything is said and done. Winning again tonight, 1-0.
I don't know if they'll be the odds-on favorite, but they took advantage of the schedule. You beat Washington, you beat Chicago, right? Won 6 out of 7 there. You beat Houston, a team you have a hard time beating, especially in Houston. You beat them last night. They are winning tonight. I think Stanton hit a ball that hasn't landed yet. It's only 1-0 in the third inning. All right, we're not going to crown them yet here. But the next 2 weeks will tell us about the Yankees. All right, you play in Houston, this game tomorrow. Then you got 3 against Toronto, 3 against Detroit, 3 against Boston. Coming into this little 12-game slate, you were 7-19 versus those teams. No one expects you to go 9-3, but if you go 4-8, a lot of question marks. You can't beat these teams. You got to play them all in the playoffs here, and you'll have no faith. But if you go 6-6, 7-5, I think that'll be good for the Yankees. Last 12 games of the season, they played Detroit, Baltimore 6 times, White Sox 3, and Minnesota 3. So if the Yankees get through this without falling on their face, they'll be in very good shape.
I said this weeks ago, last month, the Yankee fans, fire everybody. I said, whatever, dude. They're still fine. They're going to be good in the American League. You're going to fire a manager went to, that's in a playoff spot and then went to the World Series last year. It's just stupid. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Thing is, the Blue Jays aren't letting up, but the Blue Jays, they have one weakness that's starting to rear its ugly head. The Blue Jays bullpen. It's a real problem for them right now, but they're still a very good team.
Yeah. More baseball talk, get some football talk. Pull over side of the road bet for George Kurtz coming up next.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Matthew Golden, one of my favorite prospects coming out of Texas. He had an incredible game against Arizona last year in the college football playoffs. Just, big touchdown after big touchdown, big moment after big moment. I loved him all year. And I was a little, skeptical at first, like, okay, well, it's kind of a crowded wide receiver room. And guess what? It's getting less crowded because everybody's hurt in Green Bay. Matthew Golden is the truth. He's the only guy healthy enough to play.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Netflix is back in a big way. They get Home Run Derby. What else is in store?
Yeah, Craig, we told you they had a great shot at it, and if they do. Now, the deal's not done yet because there's some last-minute things. However, if the deal is done, Netflix gets Home Run Derby, Peacock and NBC get Sunday Night Baseball, and they also get the Sunday afternoon package that Peacock originally had 3 years ago, and Roku's had the last 2 years.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Basically, their whole entire year is going to come down to the Ohio State game. I would be surprised if they were to lose any game leading up to that. So them to go undefeated is 12-1 in the regular season. That's a regular season play. So I think that's possible to go 12-0 at 12-1. To win the Big Ten championship, I think is a 9-1 play is a good number to take because if they're in the game, we can hedge off of it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe talking a little baseball, a little football here with our good buddy George Kurtz, SportsGrid TV host. See it here all the time here on the Grid. So just getting underway, George, before we get to some NFL stuff, I imagine Gabe and I both are all over San Francisco tonight. Rafi Devers maybe as well. He's been on fire. We know what happened last night. Any interest in San Fran laying 2-1? Although it's down to minus 156 on FanDuel right now, just underway. That seems a little weird. But especially with the Giants batting first. I don't know why that would be minus 156. But anyway, any interest in San Fran, Colorado tonight?
That game is actually off my board now that I look at it for whatever reason. Now it's back, yeah, minus 156. Pre-game, of course, I'm on the Giants. Most of the games is Colorado. I'm not. I'm also on the over there. We'll see if we get some runs in this contest. So sure. I did play a anytime home run for, not Devers, but Willie Adames could be a little angry tonight, right? So I took Adames tonight. So he was in the lineup.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Robbie Ray's not pitching.
No, it was a 1-2. It was a 1-2-3 inning. That's why the number changed. Okay. It was a 1-2-3 inning. Colorado, San Francisco did not get a hit in the first inning.
Yeah, that was fast. All right, that was a fast 1-2-3 inning. All right, so that's why. So that's not bad. Go from 2-1. You sacrifice one at bat to drop it to 156. Boy, I would do that.
More than fair number. Goes to show the massive swing that you see in baseball from one inning. We saw last night there was literally like one out. It flipped 30 cents in baseball in one of the games last night. It went from plus 115 to minus 115 after an out. There was a runner on second base. It's really wild. If you notice this, it'll change 5 cents per pitch. Like literally. So like if the line is 210, all right, ball 1, 215. Strike 205. Like it literally will move like 5 cents per. So you add it up sort of. All right, there was a bunch of, there was 3 outs, bunch, you know what I mean? So they come up with, it's like a 45-cent swing pretty much, but pretty massive, Scott, if you think about that. Look, went from minus 210 to 156 after 3 outs in the game.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Any interest, George, in any of these other games? Maybe over 14.5 for Toronto, Cincinnati, 8-5, 7th inning, Cubbies, Braves. Any interest in any of the other games before we get to the NFL?
I'm already on the pregame over in Cincinnati. I took one in-game over. I don't mind taking over 14.5 if that's what it's still at. I think more runs will come here. We're going to get 2 full innings here. All right, if we don't get 2 full innings, Cincinnati scored 4 runs anyway, so you won either way. Yeah, I think more runs are coming in Cincinnati. Gabe already said it. Blue Jays bullpen is a little shaky. We know the Reds bullpen is shaky here. You tell me we're not going to get a couple more runs in this game? I think we are, so I'll take the over, another in-game over. We'll play a lot of that.
It's only 14.5 right now.
2 runs.
And they're at 13.
2 innings.
Yeah, but I got burnt last night. I was on the Jays, but I got greedy, George. I took it over 22.5, and they got to 12.9. They came close. It got to 12.9. Right? I was just a little short, right? Just a little short.
Yeah. When we used to host the morning show, we'd have a what we call the pullover on the side of the road, considering most people are driving to work that were listening, right? So the bet was so good, we'd call it pullover on the side of the road bet. So I have one for you guys. On FanDuel, you could bet, and I'm sure the other sides, you could bet on teams to make the playoffs. So there was actually a separate bet on the 3 teams I'm going to give you. But then if you just put the teams in to make the playoffs, the odds are a little bit better. But how's this not going to cash? All right, 3 teams to make the playoffs. Baltimore, Philadelphia, Kansas City. Or you could use Baltimore, Philadelphia, Buffalo. Both are basically, believe it or not, pick 'em for those 3 teams to make the playoffs. How is Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Buffalo not making the playoffs? Or, again, if you want to take Buffalo out and throw in Kansas City, you could do that as well. I mean, how's that not going to catch you?
I can't disagree. I have a hard time coming up with a legitimate argument as to how these teams won't make the playoffs. But from a fundamental standpoint, I don't want 3 things to happen for plus 100 only. Right. So that's just sort of my stance on it. But is there one of these teams that implodes, that somehow things just completely fall apart for them? You could all argue, listen, Baltimore's in a tough division, but they are so damn good. Cincinnati are good. Pittsburgh are really good. Are Buffalo, somehow not a playoff team? I'm hard-pressed to see that they're not.
There's only one way.
I would say Kansas City's the one somehow. If somehow, you know, I mean, Denver are all that, and the Chargers are all that. You know, that's what I would say, George.
There's only one way. I would put Buffalo in over Kansas City. Kansas City is the one team I might worry about a little bit because I never think they're as good as they actually play to be. But there's only one way: Baltimore, Buffalo, Philadelphia don't make the playoffs, and that's if Josh Allen gets hurt, Lamar Jackson gets hurt, or Jalen Hurts gets hurt. That's the only way. All right. Other than that, they're all making the playoffs here. But, you know, Bill Barnwell of ESPN wrote an interesting column today where, if you're going by the numbers, the math, that, you know what, odds are one of those teams won't make the playoffs. As of the 8 division winners each season, I believe on average only 5 the next year make it. You know, the other 3
it's
don't
hard
even
to
get
take
in
the
the
leap of
playoffs.
faith.
Don't even make the playoffs. So,
you're right. It's hard to take the leap of faith in the NFL with that. But, dude, there's always like teams like every year. There's teams that weren't in the playoffs the year before. There's the worst to first, like 17 and 19 times or whatever. So it's hard to take that leap of faith and believe it, but it happens every year.
That being said,
I would be shocked. I would be shocked. Right?
I would say KC. That's the one that would worry me.
See, if you use KC, if you use KC, then it's plus 105. If you throw KC out and put Buffalo, which is minus 8 to 1 for Buffalo, then it's still only minus 120. The only reason I would, I was going to say, you put KC in there, you're still dealing with 2 AFC teams and 1 NFC team. Like, I wouldn't use 3 AFC teams. I wouldn't throw Philadelphia out because now you got 3 out of 7 spots. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're going to eliminate each other. That's the problem.
Yeah,
right? They could eliminate each other. A bet that I prefer to that.
Serious bets. That's like a serious bet for me. Like, you know, that's a professional. Put the money away and do it. But go ahead, Gabe, real quick.
No, I was going to say, but needing 3 things is. It's just even like the mathematical odds, no matter how good it looks before, you're begging for disaster by asking more. So I prefer the top 2 finish, Scott. You can pick the division. Who's going to finish in first? Who's going to finish in second? And a lot of the times you're going to get nice plus money out of it.
That's not bad. That's not bad either. George, good job as always, my friend. Enjoy the rest of the night.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Matthew Golden, one of my favorite prospects coming out of Texas. He had an incredible game against Arizona last year in the college football playoffs. Just, you know, big touchdown after big touchdown, big moment after big moment. I loved him all year. And I was a little, skeptical at first, like, okay, well, it's kind of a crowded wide receiver room. And guess what? It's getting less crowded because everybody's hurt in Green Bay. Matthew Golden is the truth. He's the only guy healthy enough to play.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Netflix is back in a big way. They get Home Run Derby. What else is in store?
Yeah, Craig, we told you they had a great shot at it, and if they do. Now, the deal's not done yet because there's some last-minute things. However, if the deal is done, Netflix gets Home Run Derby, Peacock and NBC get Sunday Night Baseball, and they also get the Sunday afternoon package that Peacock originally had 3 years ago, and Roku's had the last 2 years.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Basically, their whole entire year is going to come down to the Ohio State game. I would be surprised if they were to lose any game leading up to that. So them to go undefeated is 12-1 in the regular season. That's a regular season play. So I think that's possible to go 12-0 at 12-1. To win the Big Ten championship, I think is a 9-1 play is a good number to take because if they're in the game, we can hedge off of it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number one, closing it out with our Black Cloud Play of the Day. Not much on the schedule that's not yet gotten underway, so we're going to go to tennis, which isn't a bad thing. We've been giving out some winners with tennis this week with the U.S. Open anyway, so not a bad place to go. We're going to go the Sinner-Musetti match, which should start here in a couple of moments. We're going to use under 31.5. Sinner's only faced this dude twice. He blitzed them both times. The worst set was a 6-4. Everything else was 6-3 or better for Sinner. I don't think this dude's going to fool around. He can sit there and watch Joker and Alcaraz. Meanwhile, he's just sitting back facing Lorenzo Musetti, who, I don't think it's going to go 4 sets. I really don't. You can kind of pick which bet you like. You can bet 3 sets or less or this, that, what have you. The best one that I came up with anyway is under 31.5 games. Because even if you bet Sinner to win in 3 sets, it's still minus 2 to 1. He's a 30 to 40 to 1 favorite. So I'm getting, basically pick 'em odds at under 31.5. If he wins in straight sets, even 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 is still 30. You still got another set to give, and I don't think it'll be that close. So let's go under. I don't see how Musetti even wins 1 set. I really don't. So under 31.5 games, Sinner and good old Lorenzo getting underway shortly.
All the way down to 30.5 right now as well. So you got a good number at 31. Right. And these numbers are super sharp when it comes to tennis totals. Sinner, to put in context, is a 33 to 1 favorite to win the match. He's minus 3,300. He's a massive favorite. Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime actually advances to the semifinals again.
Nice win.
He's made it to the big win against de Minaur today. He's made it to the semis before here. One of these players we talk about that very, very good, yet he's a little bit younger than Fritz and some of these other players. So I've always believed that Felix has one major in him, right? At some point in his career, it's going to happen for him, but it's going to be tough, Scott, because he's going to play Sinner after this, right? And so at 30.5, you got to go 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. He probably still hits. The point spread is 7.5. 7.5 is pretty high for a tennis match. You don't see that. That's minus 150, Scott, at 7.5. So he's got to win by 8 games. So you know what that tells me? They're thinking 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 type deal. Right? That's 9. Right? So that's 9. Right? So in that, right, 6-3, 6-3, 6-4.
Yeah.
I would rather go under 3.5 than lay the 7.5 because let's say Sinner wins 6-1, 6-1. And then, there's a 7-5 or something mixed in there, right? So I'll go the under 30.5. Not a great number, Scott, but I agree with your play.
Yeah.
You got a better number at 31.5.
Yeah, FanDuel still got it. Looking at it now, it's a little juice now, 31.5 at minus 136. But that's why I'd rather do that, though, than, give me the games. Because if it goes over 31.5, it's got to be a 7-5, 7-5, 6-4, something goofy like that, in order for it to get to 32 in a straight set win. So why not, versus laying odds, with 7.5 or 8, as you were saying, it was still minus 150 or so. Like, in order for him to cover the 7.5, it's not going 4 sets, obviously, and you're not going to get a 7-5. Even like you said, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, you're a loser. 6-4, 6-4, 6-3, you're an even loser. So it's got to go 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. So if that's the case, then you go under the 30.5 at lesser odds. You're not laying as many odds,
exactly.
So that's the better
It really
bet,
is wild. Last night we talked about it on the air, Scott. The match, classic match, and Fritz showed something actually against Novak last night. He showed some heart. He battled as it went on. I took the over 39.5, and Novak was smoking him. He was up 2 sets to none, and it ended up getting to exactly 40. To put in context how sharp the numbers are. It got to exactly 40, Scott.
I was thinking of you like, son of a gun. We both won. Yeah. He won his, and I won mine. How about that?
Right to 40. Today, similar situation. I took Aliassime total over, and it was just so sharp. The tennis totals are just unbelievably sharp, man. Like, Dave, you want to talk about their algorithm figuring it out, Scott. They've got it down.
They do. They really do. And you got the great match tomorrow, Alcaraz and Joker, 10 o'clock Eastern time in the morning. I'm very surprised. 10 o'clock in the morning for Alcaraz and the Joker on a Thursday
They don't
morning?
move. They don't move stuff around. I see tennis fans complaining, oh, they're screwing the women. They're making them play at this time, or they're making, no. Like, they make the schedule, and you're up next. That's the way it goes.
Amazing. Amazing. All right, hour number 2 coming up.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Matthew Golden, one of my favorite prospects coming out of Texas. He had an incredible game against Arizona last year in the college football playoffs. Just, big touchdown after big touchdown, big moment after big moment. I loved him all year. And I was a little, skeptical at first, like, okay, well, it's kind of a crowded wide receiver room. And guess what? It's getting less crowded because everybody's hurt in Green Bay. Matthew Golden is the truth. He's the only guy healthy enough to play.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Netflix is back in a big way. They get Home Run Derby. What else is in store?
Yeah, Craig, we told you they had a great shot at it, and if they do. Now, the deal's not done yet because there's some last-minute things. However, if the deal is done, Netflix gets Home Run Derby, Peacock and NBC get Sunday Night Baseball, and they also get the Sunday afternoon package that Peacock originally had 3 years ago, and Roku's had the last 2 years.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Basically, their whole entire year is going to come down to the Ohio State game. I would be surprised if they were to lose any game leading up to that. So them to go undefeated is 12-1 in the regular season. That's a regular season play. So I think that's possible to go 12-0 at 12-1. To win the Big Ten championship, I think is a 9-1 play is a good number to take because if they're in the game, we can hedge off of it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza, getting set for a little Thursday night football tomorrow. Then we got a little bonus, little Friday night football with Kansas City and the LA Chargers over in Brazil. In the meantime, we got some baseball, we got some tennis, little WNBA. But the main story obviously is the NFL. I just want to update a couple of quick scores here. Cincinnati put 1 run on the board, so we're at 14. We went over 14.5, 8-6 top of the 7th inning, and the Jays have a runner on second base. Looks like with nobody out, so we're in a position to maybe get a 5th run. Dodgers still being shut out 3-0 by the Pirates. They've been shut out 7 times already this year. They're among the league leaders, believe it or not, in being shut out on the season. Red Sox getting blown out. Tampa Bay blowing out Seattle 9-0. But Milwaukee blowing out. A lot of blowouts tonight. Philadelphia 6-1. Cubbies 1-0 over the Braves. If you want to grab the Braves plus 320, I would take a stab on that, even though I like the Cubs in the game itself. And then the Yanks still 1-0. And the Giants gave a quick little 1-0 lead. Chapman. He would have been a good hunch, too, for a home run after last night's fiasco, right? So Chapman with a home run, 1-0 Giants already, bottom of the second inning.
I'll take it. We laid the 1.5. We got to get runs any way that we can. Yeah, Chapman was right in the middle of the fracas last night. A lot of blowouts tonight, as you say. It's gotten a lot of top-tier teams losing. A lot of first-place teams losing, teams that are in a wild card chase losing, but it really won't affect them because they're all losing tonight. Or look at San Diego and L.A., right? San Diego loses. They're lucky. LA looks poised to be losing again right now. It's sort of contagious around the league. Yet, Boston getting blown out. Could be a big night for the Yankees and a big series coming up for the Blue Jays and Yankees once again. And that Blue Jay bullpen is starting to leak right now. But they score so many runs, Scott, right? So they're still damn dangerous, the Blue Jays, but they do have bullpen problems.
Yeah. Some interesting trends. I love trends, Gabe, in the NFL. I love finding trends. And I'm not going to say I completely ignore them, and I'm not going to say I 100% legitimately will buy in, right? But I enjoy the challenge of finding trends just to show how trends really should just be thrown out the window. Because I'll give you some trends. And I know you got some as well that are pro Dallas, and I got some trends that are pro Philadelphia. It's whichever site you go to find a trend.
Trent Scott are like political polls. The politician and the gambler likes them if they agree with them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, because you can, for every trend in the NFL, you can, I'll counter you. And you can come back with this, and it goes back and forth. And it's sort of like if you see a trend and you like a game and it's on the side that you like, it sort of solidifies it for you, Scott, right? Just the human nature.
Right.
Oh, look at this, and this is happening. Oh, and I like that. But there are trends on both sides, and especially in the NFL, right? And I'm a big Mark Lawrence guy. The playbook is great, and it's known for trends. But there's always trends that like contradict each other as well often. But some interesting trends. So I'm going to throw something out, Scott. Not so much about the teams, because past teams are a little bit different, right? They're not the same team, same coaching staffs, etc. So I don't want to put too much stock. Like you talked about, like the Cowboys. Yeah, they're 5-16 or whatever. Cooper Rush was their quarterback, and they're not the same team without Dak Prescott. We all know that, like point blank. They're not the same organization when Dak Prescott is not playing. But something that I found interesting, digging in, Scott, to week 1 numbers. So starting off here, the Cowboys usually start off the season strong. 7-1 against the spread, the Dallas Cowboys, their last 8 September road games. So they go on the road, they cash the number, and you're getting 8.5 points right now in this game. I could quickly counter-argue that defending Super Bowl champions, are like 13-5 against the spread, right, on their openers. But Dak Prescott, it's funny because if you remember, guys, Dak Prescott sort of, made people chuckle last year after the Super Bowl, around the Super Bowl, when he said, we're back, the Eagles better watch out, we're not afraid of them. And people were like, yeah, come on, Dak, just, what are you talking about? Dak is 9-4 in his career against the Eagles, Scott. Right? He's actually had a lot of success. Like the Eagles, he's had success against Jalen Hurts, the Eagles, and he's 9-4 in his career. So that, we'll just throw that out there right now. But this is what I find interesting, Scott. So you guys can apply this not just to this Thursday night game, but since 2019, Scott, road dogs have covered 56.8% of the time in week 1. Week 1. Road dogs in week 1 of 6 points or more have covered 60.7% of the time, 17-11 to be exact, against the spread. Road dogs of 6 points or more. I think this tells us, Scott, that oftentimes the numbers are numbered from the previous season. And the teams aren't as good as they think they are, or the dog isn't as bad as people think they are. So just something to chew on, guys. Week 1 road underdogs, 56.8% cover clip in the last 6 years. Road dogs of 6 points or more have covered 60.7% of the time on the road. Something to chew on. And one thing, Scott, I know you'll like this one, going back to 20 games, but this isn't going to change because the Cowboys defense is the Cowboys defense. The Cowboys are 14-6 to the over in their last 20. And I would expect this team to be playing to the over a lot, Scott. They can't stop anybody, and their offense is going to be able to put points on the board.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm going to settle in, Gabe, the over 47.5. That's a big number, for the NFL. For college, it's not, but for the NFL, it is. But you said it. With Pickens on one side and CeeDee Lamb on the other, they should, even though they can't run a lick, but they should be able to move the ball with Dak there. And their defense is going to give up 20+. You got to count on that every game. And Philadelphia, I think, is going to come out flying. So when I did the trends, believe it or not, I did find a lot more pro-Dallas trends than I did pro-Philadelphia. The only Philadelphia trend that really stood out was an anti-Dallas one. And as I mentioned, 6-15 with 5 on the line. 6-15 is Dallas their last 21 as an underdog. But again, a lot of that's not without Dak. How about favorites opening day, last 10 years? 3-7 against the spread.
That correlates with what I just said. Road dogs in week 1. That correlates. Like I said, road dogs week 1.
How about this one for Road Dogs? And you said it, right? I'll go a few years back. Road Dogs of 6.5 or more in week 1 since 2006, 49-27 against the spread, and they've been over 500 every year except one. So that's 22 games over 500.
See, that's another leap of faith play, Scott,
right,
that you need to do in the NFL where – because people are going to say, yeah, that number sounds really good, but I don't want to take the Cowboys +8. Yeah. I don't want to take the Titans +8. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't want to, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, but the numbers sound good. But honestly, Scott, there aren't that many big point spreads this week. How many Road Dogs are the Road Dogs? There's just a ton of these 2.5s type of deal, right? There's not a lot to chew on as far as bigger points. The two that I threw out there are the biggest
Giants.
ones, right? The Tennessee Titans. Oh, the Giants, good example. Yeah. I love the New York Giants in this game, Scott. Love the Giants in this game. Right? You got Russell Wilson, neighbors, the defense going to be flying around. Washington are all hyped right now. There's a classic example of this. Leap of faith pick, right? Leap of faith pick. Road Dog. Even I have a hard time with the Titans one, though, Scott. I don't really want the Titans at Denver.
A three-team
not in a hurry.
Titans, Giants, Cowboys. Oof, your local Louis the Lip will call you, as I like to
money
say.
Line? Money line? No. Okay, put that on a money line. You won't have to bet again the rest of the year. You could quit. You'll be so big.
Yeah, that's it. I give up. That's it. I hit that one.
Did you see Lee Corso? You see Lee Corso went 6 for 6 on his last picks.
Did he really?
And the parlay paid like 225 to 1 because he picked like a massive upset, Scott. Yeah.
Wow.
He said Florida State would beat Bama.
That was it then. Wow.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
back in game live. Game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2. A little baseball, a little WNBA, a little tennis. I wasn't that I had a little play in the WNBA tonight. I had no interest in Connecticut, Chicago. I mean, it's 2 of the worst teams literally in the WNBA. But I did have a little nugget on Atlanta tonight, laying 7.5 against the Sparks. Final 2 minutes, they're up 14, 86-72 game. I thought that was a very tough spot. It's not the NBA. They're not flying charter planes. They're flying Southwest Airlines like you and I, JetBlue, you know, all the cheapies. That's where they fly, right? Half the time they're walking. So I thought, LA having to play in Seattle, 8-point underdogs, winning Monday night. Then they got to fly all the way to Atlanta. I know it's 2 days later, but I thought that's a real tough spot. So I'm not surprised. Looks like Atlanta's going to cover. I don't want to count my chickens here, up 14, laying 7 with 2 minutes left. But that was the only play I had tonight in the WNBA. What about you?
I flirted with the over of this game, and I didn't pull the trigger, and I was mad at myself that I didn't earlier because I saw it was 181.5, Scott. But I don't think it's going to get there when it's all said and done.
No.
LA have hit the wall. They're at 72. They've tapped out. They're down by 14 right now. I'm a little upset with myself for leaving the sky on the table. I felt that this is a winnable game for them tonight, and they're up by 15 right now. We're super low scoring, 42-27, in-game total, $145.5 right now. But how about last night? You want to talk about bad beats? The Phoenix Mercury were lighting. They were lighting Indiana up like a spliff on the back of Snoop Dogg's tour bus all night last night. They were up by 17. They were up by this. They're up by that. End of the game, Scott. Indiana covers. They cut the lead to 6. Unbelievable. 85-79 final score. Phoenix laying 7.5. Can't make that up.
And here's another one. Did you see Alyssa Thomas's numbers for the game?
Well, she fell 1 short, right? Again.
2. She fell from a triple-double. I forget how many points she had, but she had like 15, 20, whatever. 9 rebounds, 9 assists.
Yeah. She gets right there. It's unbelievable, huh?
It's amazing, right? And you look at her log. She's 9.9999. It's the craziest thing.
She falls short from the double-double, yet she has a near triple-double game. It's unbelievable. We talked about it last night. Yeah. Like, when she misses by 1 all the time somehow, but she's so good that she gets all 3. Like, it really is wild with her stats. You can't call her out and say, oh, she didn't have a good game. No, it's like, 15, 9, and 9. The points are the automatic all the time. She gets into the double-digit points, and then she gets, like we talked about it, one night it'll be like 9 or 10, and the other night it'll be 8 or 9. It's just the way it is with her numbers now.
That would never in a million years happen in the NBA. Never. They would know the stats, and they would make damn sure, okay, you're a rebound and an assist away from a triple-double. We'll get it to you. Somehow, some way.
If they wanted to get it for her, she could get a triple-double every game, this girl. Like, it's unbelievable. Like she's right there without them even trying. They don't want to pay her, probably.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's got some clause in her contract.
They don't want to boost her. But you know what it is, Scott, too, with the charter stuff is a couple of years ago, some teams started the private jet stuff with the WNBA. And other teams called it out. And it just goes to show the bush leagueness of their league in that instead of guilting the other owners, right, into saying, no, listen, you're a professional team. The teams are worth a lot of money now. You can buy a jet. You all have your own little private jets. They're not that expensive. You can get a jet. And a bunch of teams started flying charter. Like you said, Scott, they outlawed it. They said, no, it's not fair to the teams that aren't. It's like, well, force the other teams to actually, fly the girls. I mean, it's gotten better, Scott, but we all remember there's literally, flight delays and stuff. You see pictures of WNBA teams like sitting in the airport for 6 hours and stuff. So it's ridiculous. Remember a couple of years ago, the girls slept on the floor of an airport and they played the next day. Like they get treated like they're Kent State on the road in the college basketball or something. We're staying at a Motel 6, and we gotta stay over in Cleveland for 6 hours. Like they got to figure it out. I think it has gotten better, but they need to figure it out. But that's why, Scott, they could have a lockout coming. Like, they're on a collision course. Like, the WNBA players want a lot more money. The WNBA is crying poor, and they don't seem to be anywhere near the same page type of deal.
They really don't. I don't know what's going to happen with that. And they're expanding So things are on the upside, but you
That's
said
more
they need
money
a whole
coming
lot more
in.
money. And more for the
Yeah, but
owners, not for the players.
You can't exactly. You can't keep bringing this money in and then telling the girls that we can only pay you $77,000.
Right.
Like that's just not acceptable.
I mean, they're
right?
making nothing, Gabe. I mean, nothing. Listen, they're not making
Caitlin
millions.
Clark's
That's
WNBA salary is $78,000 right now as a rookie, second-year player.
Yeah,
come on.
I mean,
78. Like you're lucky she's not playing in Russia for like $20 million type deal. But there's that unrivaled women's league in the summertime, right? And I don't know if it was Alyssa Thomas or it was one of the players the other day. She was talking about the CBA coming up, and she said, listen, there's a problem when I made $5 million playing in the unrivaled.
Right.
Like, basically, like, they're playing, like, they're making money in these other things, and, like, the WNBA feels as though they owe some loyalty to them. Like, they're, like, I'm telling you, man, the WNBA, we talk about Live Tour and stuff, Scott, and you hear, like, in Europe, there's, like, a new basketball thing brewing. Like, if somebody came with some real money, they could crush the WNBA. But don't try to just poach, like, the star players. Poach them all. Just, like, offer them every player in the league and say, we have a deal for every player in the league. If you're making $75K in the WNBA, we'll play you $250 a year, right? If you're making $300K in the WNBA, we'll pay you $1 million. Like you triple everyone's salary. They can afford it with the rights and stuff. And I think you would have something. Like the WNBA better figure it out, or else I wouldn't be surprised if this unrivaled league really does step up.
Yeah, I've said that over the last 6 to 7 months. That league is primed for absolute takeoff. Just bury that. Hey, listen, half the teams now aren't assigned to an NBA team, so you're not really getting anything out of that.
Why do you think Brittany Griner got arrested in Russia, Scott? Because she doesn't make any money here. She never even been in Russia. She could have been smoking weed in America. Instead, she had to go to Russia to get paid. Right?
Yeah, crazy. We got our over with Toronto, 12-6. Blue Jays tacked on a bunch of more runs, so that's now at 19.5. I'll stop at my 14.5 and take my winnings there. And the Braves put 3 on the board. So if you took the Braves, I suggested a little while ago, up 3-1.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Matthew Golden, one of my favorite prospects coming out of Texas. He had an incredible game against Arizona last year in the college football playoffs. Just, big touchdown after big touchdown, big moment after big moment. I loved him all year. And I was a little, skeptical at first, like, okay, well, it's kind of a crowded wide receiver room. And guess what? It's getting less crowded because everybody's hurt in Green Bay. Matthew Golden is the truth. He's the only guy healthy enough to play.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Netflix is back in a big way. They get Home Run Derby. What else is in store?
Yeah, Craig, we told you they had a great shot at it, and if they do. Now, the deal's not done yet because there's some last-minute things. However, if the deal is done, Netflix gets Home Run Derby, Peacock and NBC get Sunday Night Baseball, and they also get the Sunday afternoon package that Peacock originally had 3 years ago, and Roku's had the last 2 years.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Basically, their whole entire year is going to come down to the Ohio State game. I would be surprised if they were to lose any game leading up to that. So them to go undefeated is 12-1 in the regular season. That's a regular season play. So I think that's possible to go 12-0 at 12-1. To win the Big Ten championship, I think is a 9-1 play is a good number to take because if they're in the game, we can hedge off of it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2, looking at a little baseball, a little tennis, just to throw it out there. I sometimes I chuckle at myself here. So, Sinner, 2 things. One, we'll start with the women first. Osaka just won, and you know what? She's plus 240 to win this thing. I'm not a big fan of hers. The guys on the podcast know that. But I will tell you, she's the best women's tennis player. And if she's on her A game and she's showing she's on her A game, she's winning this thing. They're not going to beat her. So I would grab her to win at plus 240. She was a straight set winner today. The other thing, Gabe, is Sinner's up to minus 45 to 1. His match is going to start here in about 10 minutes. They pushed it off to 9:38. 45 to 1. To put that into perspective, if you put $100 on Sinner, you'd win $2.22. I mean, you talk. It's like,
it was 33 to 1
parlay. Yeah,
and it's
up to 45
climbed
now, Fandle. Yeah,
which is unbelievable. As far as Osaka is concerned, you're right. When she's hot, listen, she hasn't been around for a while, so people sort of forget, right, how good she is. She's very, very, very temperamental. I find her to be kind of unlikable as well, even when she just won right now, like the Qatari, there was a Qatari Airlines woman or whatever, right, decked out in the gear, and she was signing balls and stuff, and like she gave the girl such the most disingenuous smile, like, you know what I mean? It was just so like, ugh, like she did it. She's one of these woe is me, like when she loses, Coco Gauff is like that as well. When they win, they're all, everything's great. When they lose, they're the big victims, and But Osaka still is a plus 300, still plays a plus 300 price, Scott. I'm actually surprised that she's still such a big price. Sabalenka is plus 100. Osaka's plus 300. Anisimova is plus 400. And Pegula still in the mix right now at plus 800. Kind of flying under the radar. No one talking about Pegula, but looks like Sabalenka and Osaka. Right, one of those two, in my opinion.
Yeah, FanDuel's got her here in New York anyway, only plus 240. So if you could get her at 3 to 1, that's Osaka meaning that's a pretty good price. Maybe they haven't adjusted because the match just ended. But at 3 to 1, yeah, I'm on
a very sharp tennis book as well. So I think that it's a bad number at FanDuel.
Yeah,
just point blank. I don't that plus 2. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look at a third. I'll look at a third and a fourth place right now because, like I said, Bet365 has Osaka at plus 300. Let me see another spot here.
Yeah, let me check Futures. One too. I don't know if I would have it.
I'll check Bet.
Tennis.
I'm gonna check.
Bet365.
No, I'm already on now. I'm gonna check BetMGM. Let's see what BetMGM is saying. Bet365 is really good, though, for like the current live stuff. Some of these books aren't as up to date with their future plays. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, the site I look at doesn't have it. They have the games, but they don't have the futures, unfortunately, right now.
But this is why we always say it's good to have multiple books if you're betting multiple sports, right? Because there really are different prices. There are different prices in different states, different provinces. They do... Yeah. They do manipulate stuff a bit, you know what I mean? There's like FanDuel Ontario is going to get hammered with Leaf bets, right? So they're obviously aware of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like in New York, I always found it fascinating though. FanDuel in New York and New Jersey, you used to be able to get better numbers for the other team, Scott. Like most markets in betting, like the sports books in Reno, the 49ers numbers will be skewed, et cetera, because people are betting the 49ers, right? New York, I noticed in New Jersey, people bet against the home team a lot. Like the New York Giants, you'd get better value with the Giants, like in another place, because everyone in New York knew the Giants sucked, and they were betting against them type of deal. So, like,
I mean, that's it. Think about it.
It used to fascinate me, like the Mets. Same thing with the Mets, Scott. Like the Mets lines would be higher than they would be elsewhere because everyone was betting against the Mets. Like I caught on to some weird trend like that. I was like, wow, New Yorkers are so negative that the numbers are actually higher here.
Yeah, and they want to sucker you in. I mean, when's the last time the Giants and Jets have been any good, or Islanders, or really even the Knicks?
If you've been betting against them, you've been making money, man. I tell you that. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to bet the Knicks because you're a Knicks fan, or the Giants? Hey, you're coming to New York. Yeah, we'll give you an extra half a point. Absolutely, they're going to get blown out by 30 anyway.
Boost. I remember that all their odds boosts were always Yankees and Mets type stuff. And the guy, one of the sportsbook managers, goes, those things never win. That's what the guy told me at the time. He goes, but they always line up for the Aaron Judge stuff. Like, they love the Judge props. Rarely wins.
Here come the Cincinnati Reds. They're not dead yet. Figure it out.
Not bullpen.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Matthew Golden, one of my favorite prospects coming out of Texas. He had an incredible game against Arizona last year in the college football playoffs. Just, big touchdown after big touchdown, big moment after big moment. I loved him all year. And I was a little, skeptical at first, like, okay, well, it's kind of a crowded wide receiver room. And guess what? It's getting less crowded because everybody's hurt in Green Bay. Matthew Golden is the truth. He's the only guy healthy enough to play.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Netflix is back in a big way. They get Home Run Derby. What else is in store?
Yeah, Craig, we told you they had a great shot at it, and if they do. Now, the deal's not done yet because there's some last-minute things. However, if the deal is done, Netflix gets Home Run Derby, Peacock and NBC get Sunday Night Baseball, and they also get the Sunday afternoon package that Peacock originally had 3 years ago, and Roku's had the last 2 years.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Basically, their whole entire year is going to come down to the Ohio State game. I would be surprised if they were to lose any game leading up to that. So them to go undefeated is 12-1 in the regular season. That's a regular season play. So I think that's possible to go 12-0 at 12-1. To win the Big Ten championship, I think is a 9-1 play is a good number to take because if they're in the game, we can hedge off of it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, midway through hour number 2. We got baseball. Things looking pretty good. Stanks are leading. Not that I really want to root for that, but we're betting on them. So Giants are winning 4-0. Our SGP's in a halfway decent play. We got some tennis starting. Got a little WNBA. And obviously football tomorrow. So let's talk it all with a good buddy, Cam Stewart, Sports Grid host. You see it here all the time here on the grid. What's going on, Cam? How are you tonight, bud?
I'm doing okay, Scott. Gabe, nice to talk to you again. And just watching that Osaka match and got a little bit worried there in the second set, but she gets things done. I was telling Gabe earlier, I got her 18-1, but Anisimova looks very, very, very good. The girl with Russian parents, but living in New Jersey, taking out Swiatek today. That was quite a match. So, things heating up at the U.S. Open. Late match tonight. We got 2 Italians going at it right now. Sinner, a huge favorite against Musetti. I'm going to take a shot with Musetti on one of my books, plus 8.5. The juice is a little bit high at 30 cents, but I'm going to take the 8.5 games with him. Hopefully he can keep it close. Let's remember, Sinner, he comes back and wins, but he did have problems with Chapo, the Canadian, and I think Musetti's a very hot player right now. He can hang. He'll lose, but I think he can cover that spread.
Oh, you can get him. He's a big underdog, I'll tell you that right now.
Huge.
Let's see. So it's still 33-1 here. You're saying 45, Scott. And for the record, I found a third book that actually had a number up. Osaka plus 250. Plus 250.
Yeah.
So the plus 300 at Bet365 is a pretty nice number. Cam said he got 18-1 with Osaka. Sabalenka is the favorite. But, I still see the 33-1 and the 7.5. So Musetti plus 7.5 plus 110, Cam, if you want to pull the trigger there.
Yeah,
that's pretty bold, though. That's pretty bold because I think he's going to get murdered.
What, you don't like Italian taking relief on another Italian? But Musetti is playing very well. But you're right, Gabe. Like, Sinner's in a league of his own. And I actually, if you guys want to talk about a great price, Sinner to win is minus 120. Is he going to beat Alcaraz? He beat him the last time he played. That's the thing. And Alcaraz has a match with Djokovic. So the winner, right? Like, Sinner's going to go to the finals. I look at that. We lay 20 cents in baseball. It's a very good price for Sinner on hard court. Like, you're only laying 20 cents for this guy to win. I think he's the best player out of the three. Alcaraz can beat him. Joker's had a nice run, but he's older. He'll probably get beat down. But I like Sinner at minus 120. Just hopefully tonight, Musetti covers the spread.
They've only played twice. So they played twice before. They were supposed to play another time, but they didn't play. So there's really not a ton to take away here, right? And they haven't played in years. So really there's not much to talk about here. But Sinner beat them 7-5, 6-2, and 6-2, 6-2 when they played the two times. But they haven't played since 2023.
How about this, Gabe and Cam? You want to do just a little flyer, a little scratch off ticket action. Sinner to win the first two games. He's not going to get broken, so he's going to be leading. He'll take one of those. You're betting, is Sinner going to break Musetti's serve first game plus 270.
The thing I like about Musetti is just
pretty nice odds.
It is very good odds.
Right?
He's a hot starter, and you guys know. Basically, Sinner is like one of those guys. Like, sometimes he can come out a little bit slow, and then he burns you. That's what I'm thinking. Like, if you're going to get him, I would do a first half bet with Musetti, because if he loses the first, it's going to light a fire under his ass as well. But Musetti is very, very talented. He's a 10 seed. He's just going up against the best player in the world. But you know what I mean? It's a massive number. I'm not thinking upset. I'm just going to take the spread, because sometimes he does lose a set, and hopefully we can have a close match. But Gabe, Scott, as for this women's final, like, Osaka, like, she looked okay tonight, but also playing a wounded animal, and still, she didn't. I thought she'd actually have a lot more ease in this match. And Sabalenka's an absolute machine. Like, she has all the strokes. She's big, tough. Like, it's going to be a very, very, like, I got to think about hedging, because I'm not sure if Osaka can get it done, but she looks pretty good. But she's up against a real world beater in Sabalenka, the best women's player in the world.
The men's side right now, Sinner is the favorite to win, minus 138. Alcaraz is plus 130. Joker is 10-1. Musetti is 80-1. And our guy, Felix Auger-Aliassime, who's going to face the winner of Sinner and Musetti, is 33-1 right now. Yeah, pretty big number. And one thing with this, guys, you pull the trigger on a big number like this. Listen, he could potentially win. I mean, he's up against it, but you always have that injury withdrawal, right? You never know, too, right? You get that 33-1, man. And remember, Scott, last night I threw it out there, and I'm like, damn, I want to see now what the number is, if it moved on us, about the Valkyries. Remember the Liberty last night? They smoked them, Scott.
Yeah.
They smoked them.
We both said.
Like the Valkyries get into the playoffs, they can beat teams.
Yeah.
Like, they're not a joke. Like, I don't care if they're an expansion team or not. They're good. So 150-1 in an 8-team tournament, and the Valkyries will be in the playoffs, guys. We brought it up last night before the game. We talked about the money line plus 200, and they won the game easily. Like, they're a good team.
Yeah. They are good. I can't believe I didn't take the Chicago Sky game in my dumpster pick tonight. I actually looked at them, and now they're winning by 22. When have they ever beat anybody by multiple
22?
Points? This tells you the
Look at this. It moved from
they reek.
It moved from 150-1 last night to 100-1, just like that.
Wow.
FanDuel still has it at 150 right now.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in. I'll put $10 on that. $10 at 150-1 is gonna net you. I should know this off the top of my head, but I'm lazy. $1,500.
Yeah, $1,500.
That's some serious hedging. Win a couple of rounds, and you start hedging after that. It's not that. And as we talked about last night, Cam, right now they're situated in the number 6 hole, which is the best spot to be in, because you don't have to face the 4 or 5, which obviously is a tougher match or a tough match, and then the 4 or 5 faces the number 1. You theoretically don't have to face Minnesota until the finals.
It's a good bet by you guys too, because the number's so big, you can have a hedge situation early. It's not like, you know what I mean, you're getting like 20, 30, you're getting 150. So you could do the math and go, wow, even if I have to take, another team there, you can get a nice chunk of it back. But I have no problem with that. That's a great price.
All right. Any baseball tonight? The game's going on right now?
I'm on the Yankees, but I was actually thinking about maybe taking a live over in this Giants Rockies game. 11.5 right now. I think we can get some runs. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Lean under in the Yankees game, already on them. And other than that, no, I think it's, pretty well, it is where it is. I don't know about the Blue Jays. We're in the top of the ninth. Cincinnati might come back and get a couple runs. They've done it recently. Jays were up 2 over the weekend. Cincinnati came back with that win. The Jays bullpen struggling a little bit, but maybe they get it done tonight. But if you gave me Cincinnati plus 2.5 to get 1 run in the bottom of the ninth, I'd probably take that.
I'd like to see if there's ever been back-to-back 12-9 exact scores with the same team winning.
Yeah, that's true. Right?
I can't imagine, Scott, it's happened too many times.
Nope. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. That's pretty funny. Yeah, Cleveland just finished off the Red Sox 8-1. So, all right. So, how about a little football?
Sure.
We got a pullover side of the road bet that can't lose, Cam. So, you tell us how this one's going to lose.
As long as Morency said it's not the worst bet on SportsGrid with your minus 360 tennis parlay, Scott, I'm all ears.
Which did hit, by the way. Just for the record, it did hit. So
it did hit. You get $10.
It did hit. Yeah.
13-9 Jays now, too. Speaking of hitting, it's 13-9.
Oh, we lost that on the 12-9. So, all right.
13-9.
So the runs are coming.
Man, the Reds pitching staff getting killed.
Oh, it's awful. They're blowing it. Teams to make the playoffs, Cam. Eagles, Chiefs, Ravens. And it's plus 105. Or you could use Eagles, Bills, Ravens. And that's minus 120 to make the playoffs.
I love both.
Right?
I love both.
How's that not going to hit?
I don't use words like the L word, lock, or anything, but yeah, the Bills are going to be there. I think the Ravens can go. I love that team as well, and the Eagles. Yes, I don't see any Chiefs. Sure, I do like Denver winning that division though, Scott. I made that bet. I like the Denver Broncos this year to win the West.
Yeah. This is just to make the playoffs. You don't have anything to worry about making it. I don't know. Who wants to put a bet aside and not cash for 5 months? But man, that's pretty good. All right, we'll get Cam's thoughts on the game tomorrow when we come back to Game 5.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Matthew Golden, one of my favorite prospects coming out of Texas. He had an incredible game against Arizona last year in the college football playoffs. Just, big touchdown after big touchdown, big moment after big moment. I loved him all year. And I was a little, skeptical at first, okay, well, it's kind of a crowded wide receiver room. And guess what? It's getting less crowded because everybody's hurt in Green Bay. Matthew Golden is the truth. He's the only guy healthy enough to play.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Netflix is back in a big way. They get Home Run Derby. What else is in store?
Yeah, Craig, we told you they had a great shot at it, and if they do. Now, the deal's not done yet because there's some last-minute things. However, if the deal is done, Netflix gets Home Run Derby, Peacock and NBC get Sunday Night Baseball, and they also get the Sunday afternoon package that Peacock originally had 3 years ago, and Roku's had the last 2 years.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Basically, their whole entire year is going to come down to the Ohio State game. I would be surprised if they were to lose any game leading up to that. So them to go undefeated is 12-1 in the regular season. That's a regular season play. So I think that's possible to go 12-0 at 12-1. To win the Big Ten championship, I think is a 9-1 play is a good number to take because if they're in the game, we can hedge off of it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe talking with our good buddy Cam Stewart here on SportsGrid. So, football. Toronto, by the way, did score a run, 13-9. Gabe mentioned that. Tampa Bay 9-4 over Seattle. So, Seattle made a little bit of a run, but that's turning into a blowout. Kansas City did tie up the Angels 3-3, top of the 8th inning. If you want to grab KC at -138, that's not too bad. Rockies did put a run on the board, still batting bottom 4. Runners on first and third, looks like 2 out, down 4-1 now. So we'll keep you posted on that. And the Astros scored a run, now trailing the Stanks 3-1 as they Yankees bat top of the 6th, runners on second and third with 1 out. So big game. NFL starts tomorrow. Cam, where we going? Philadelphia laying 8.5 at home against Dallas to kick off the season.
Yeah, I thought I was getting an extra hook there on FanDuel, but 8.5 everywhere now. I got to take the dog, Scott, with Dallas. Divisional game. I know the Eagles could potentially blow these guys out, but I'm expecting a tight game. With that spread, too, backdoor might be open. That total looks a little bit light at 47.5. Also going to tease Dallas and the over in that game, over 40.5 on a 7-pointer. I think it's going to be closer than people anticipate. Maybe the Eagles win by like 4. So I'm going to take the pooch in the first game. I know Gabe will have some props in this bet, but some of these props, like Jalen Hurts over -200 on my book for an anytime touchdown. I'll look at Pickens plus 230 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. What do you like this one, Cam? All right, Gabe.
You know, I think the best bet of this football game is the over. I think the total is a little bit too light. I mean, I think that I'm surprised it's not higher, considering you're talking about a Dallas Cowboy defense that generally gives up in the 30-point a game range. Losing Micah Parsons isn't going to help. I don't think it's as devastating. It doesn't really, it is what it is. They were going to give up points anyways. But I think the Cowboys are going to be able to put points up on the board. I'm looking at like a 31-24 type of game. And I think the Cowboys plus the points are worth a look. But it wouldn't surprise me if it ended up being like a 10-point game when it's all said and done. So for like the best bet angle, I think the over is the best bet in this football game. And I do think the Dallas Cowboys, the Cowboys can't stop the run. So Saquon Barkley should have a pretty big game in this game. So I would expect Barkley to get into the end zone. But I think Dak Prescott over 1.5 touchdown passes is a strong bet. It's plus 100. And so you're not even laying any juice on this. Plus 100. They could end up playing from behind in this game. I do think this game is going to get into the mid-50s. So I can sort of see Dallas. I think Dallas is going to surprise people tomorrow night. And I think it's going to be a competitive football game, actually. Hopefully the point spread continues to climb. But we talked about that number, too, guys. Road 1 underdogs on the road. So road dogs, week 1 NFL. Since 2019, covering 56.8% of the time. If they're getting 6 or more points, they cover 60% of the time. And Scott, you brought it up, even going back to 2006. This has actually been a pretty strong play. Road dogs on the road in week 1, ATS-wise.
I like
49-27 against the spread.
That's amazing. I like Gabe's over field goal prop, and I get it. Like a lot of the time, you're going to get mid-40s, but you got Aubrey. This guy's one of the best kickers going. Like, you're going to, you know what I mean? So if you're in any position, Dallas will try like a 58-yard field goal, 60-yard field goal. This guy's money in the bank. Like, he's got a golden leg. So I know it seems like a lot, 50-plus, but I think it can get there, Gabe. I like that bet a lot. I think we're going to have a very long field goal from the Dallas Cowboys.
It's one thing I just like about Dallas, guys. I'll just say that there's been so much negativity about them, right? And Jerry Jones this and Jerry Jones that. You know, I'm curious. I want to see if they're able to channel this, because you know that there's players on this team that are like, they don't care if Michael Parsons is there or not, right? They're there to play football and make money and get paid. You got Dak Prescott back. Pickens is going to bring another element to this offense to go along with CeeDee Lamb. That really will be unstoppable. Schottenheimer really is a very, very smart coach. Like, he's a good coach, and I think people are underestimating. You know, he's got to put it this way. They got a chip on there. They should have a chip on their shoulder. Everybody says they suck. You know what I mean? They're terrible. Your owner's an idiot. Your coach only got hired because of his father, his last name. He's a Nepto hire. And, you know, like, they all have a reason to play well, Wetzel, in this game.
They really do. They really do. I don't think I've seen a running back, the lead running back, have a rushing total as low as what Dallas has. Javonte Williams, over 34.5, guys. I'm not going to play the over on that.
I wouldn't bet the over. I don't know if they're going to run. How much are they going to run the ball? They're going to throw the ball every play.
Well, that's where I was going to go, guys. Then how about, obviously they're going to move the ball. Dak's numbers are only 248.5. If they can't run, and I don't think they're going to try, 248.5, he could get into sleep 250 yards passing for Dak Prescott.
Especially playing from behind. Yeah, that's
right.
one thing. Dallas will be able to extend the chains, and they'll take some shots with CeeDee Lamb and Pickens. That's one thing they can do, I think, in this game. I know that running back number is very, very low for Williams, but I still think he can get there. Like, that is excessively low. I still think,
we've also
a couple runs. He'll get
I think we'll see him catching passes out of the backfield, but we've seen the Eagles not at their best. The Eagles generally take a while to start turning things on. Remember, Scott and Cam, think about it, Scott. Last year, it was midseason in very Yankee fan fashion. They wanted Sirianni fired. Remember, Sirianni's arguing with fans on the sideline about his play calls. He's telling them to shut up, and it was getting out of hand, like in Philadelphia. And then they win the Super Bowl, right? And it's funny, too, because I remember there was a game early season. I saw Todd Furman tweet out. He goes, how things changed. The Eagles were only 3.5-point favorites or something against the Saints in week 2 last year, week 1, whatever it was. And I remember the game, Scott, I had the Eagles. They barely won. They only won because Saquon Barkley popped a big run late. So, the Eagles early in the season, they got 4 new starters on defense, revamped secondary. They, could take a little while for that thing to fully come together.
I'm with you. I think Dallas can hang all day long in this game, and everyone's on the negativity train with these guys. They show up, divisional game, team they hate. I think it'll be a close one.
Early thoughts on KC Chargers?
I like KC, Scott. I don't like the team, but Gabe and I talked about it on the podcast. -3, I have a lean to the Chiefs.
Yeah, 3.5. I kind of like the Chargers, to tell you the truth. The Chargers could have a really, really good year if they get everything all situated. So, Cam, great job as always. Seeing here all the time on the grid. Good luck with some of the plays tonight, and hopefully we'll do it again soon.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Matthew Golden, one of my favorite prospects coming out of Texas. He had an incredible game against Arizona last year in the college football playoffs. Just, big touchdown after big touchdown, big moment after big moment. I loved him all year. And I was a little, skeptical at first, okay, well, it's kind of a crowded wide receiver room. And guess what? It's getting less crowded because everybody's hurt in Green Bay. Matthew Golden is the truth. He's the only guy healthy enough to play.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Netflix is back in a big way. They get Home Run Derby. What else is in store?
Yeah, Craig, we told you they had a great shot at it, and if they do. Now, the deal's not done yet because there's some last-minute things. However, if the deal is done, Netflix gets Home Run Derby, Peacock and NBC get Sunday Night Baseball, and they also get the Sunday afternoon package that Peacock originally had 3 years ago, and Roku's had the last 2 years.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Basically, their whole entire year is going to come down to the Ohio State game. I would be surprised if they were to lose any game leading up to that. So them to go undefeated is 12-1 in the regular season. That's a regular season play. So I think that's possible to go 12-0 at 12-1. To win the Big Ten championship, I think is a 9-1 play is a good number to take because if they're in the game, we can hedge off of it.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Again, thanks to Cam Stewart, who joins us from time to time. So, final segment, a couple of scores rolling in. We talked earlier, Cleveland beat the Red Sox 8-1. Toronto did just beat the Cincinnati 13-9, so it's not a duplicate of 12-9, but 26 runs in the last two games for Toronto, and more importantly, maybe given up by that Cincinnati Reds pitching staff. Just brutal. Dodgers get shut out again.
This is the end. This is the end for the Reds, Scott. This will be sort of the week that was known as like the nail in the coffin week. They can't maintain it. And we've seen it in baseball all the time. These sort of mediocre teams, they'll hang around, and there's levels to this. Like, when people talk about team being a contender in July and stuff like that, right? It's way too early. You got to get through August, and then there really is, like, the pressure starts to build, and there really is that sort of early September stuff, Scott, and we're going to start to see teams just fall by the wayside on a nightly basis right now, and the Reds are one of them.
Yeah. 3-9 their last 12 games. And listen, Diamondbacks, you got, the last one was against the Angels. So Angels, Diamondbacks, they did get swept by the Dodgers, okay, but Cardinals at home, and now even Toronto. You can't, you want to be a playoff team. You can't be getting swept, when they get swept 3 out of 4. 2 out of 3 against the Cardinals at home. You can't do that. And you got to find a way to beat the Dodgers at least one game. You just have to if you want to be taken seriously. So that's why, whether it's Kansas City or Cleveland or St. Louis or Cincinnati, they all make their runs. And maybe San Fran's going to fall into the same plight. They're making their run now. But, hopefully for them, they can kind of continue this. But that's why I said earlier, Gabe, ultimately it's just like, you just go back to what you thought originally. I thought the Dodgers were going to be great. We knew the Phillies were going to be good. We knew the Mets were going to be good. We knew the Yankees were going to be good.
It really is amazing. 162 games, Scott, you're right. The cream rises to the top. I know it's cliche to say that, but it's really true, isn't it? Like, what surprises do we have? I remember in the COVID year when people complained about, that's not real. The Dodgers win. And I remember, Scott, when it was a shortened season and all that in the COVID year, people all said, this will be an opportunity for underdogs and upstart teams.
Yeah.
It was Tampa and the Dodgers, bro. You know what I mean? It was Tampa and the Dodgers. And Tampa were really good and the Dodgers were the Dodgers, right? So in baseball, the Cinderellas don't win in baseball, Scott. When's the last time we seen like a real Cinderella story in baseball? Where it's like, that team was supposed to be in last. When do we see that?
Yeah. Maybe Arizona a couple of years ago, but they didn't end up winning it. So it's too hard. It's 162. You can have
I'd say Kansas City are the most improbable ones from a few years ago.
Yeah, from years against the Mets.
They didn't have stars and stuff like that, right? But if you look at World Series, you don't the Cinderella underdog story is few and far between.
Yeah. By the way, Sinner, he's up. Forget about 2. He's up 3-love. That may be like the best.
That was good odds, actually, that you talked about. Plus 270. That was good odds.
Plus 270.
Because you know he's going to hold serve, so you're really just betting that he can break serve at plus 270.
Yeah. I mean, that was for a guy that was a 40-1, 45-1, whatever favorite. For them to give
that was a good bet.
Yeah. So, not a good start for Bisetti, who's already down 3-love. It was 2-love literally 15 seconds ago. Sinner wasn't
good. I bet the under. Betting the under 30 and a half, I actually need a nice 6-love here to get a little bit of a cushion going.
Yeah. You get something like that would give you a cushion for him to even lose a set.
You'd really 6-1, you know what I mean? 6-1, 6-2, good way to start,
Yeah, absolutely. So you and I will be on tomorrow, and the game should start around 8:20. So we'll have a little bit more time to kind of preview Dallas and Philadelphia and then some of the other plays that we're going to have. But there are a couple here. I'll throw out to get your reaction to some of the over-unders. And I've said this before, you're really betting on will the guy stay healthy. But how about Jared Goff passing props? 3,875 yards, so 3,875 yards. In his 7 full seasons, Gabe, he's had that 6 years. Can Jared Goff stay healthy? Because if so, he's thrown for 4,000 yards, and that's an easy winner.
I would say yes. I think he's going to get there. I'm a Goff guy. If I would play devil's advocate, the only thing I would say is Jahmyr Gibbs is so good. So if they ever decided to say, you know what, we're going to run the ball more and give the ball, they do have a new offensive coordinator now. So they're going to shake things up a little bit. That would be my only, but I still think he gets there, even if Gibbs gets a ton of touches.
Yeah. I tell you, I looked at some of this stuff, and that's really what you're doing. Like, they all are numbers that these guys have done. Mahomes 6-1.
Same with Dak Prescott, bro. If Dak Prescott stays healthy, he's sailing over his number.
Yeah. We'll be here tomorrow night to watch the game, so you'll join us.